The early universe of Atum. The firstborn god Atum plays an important role because he is the origin and final destination of the deceased in the afterlife. As a self-emergent creator god, Atum laid a foundation in Ma'at, rightful order, and made every form. So we could say the deceased is journeying back to the early universe before the foundation of forms or the original DNA generated the sun and stars, lambda source in our model, and the earth or human creation. This was a time before the great battle between Crow and CI protein for control over the operator sequences of the lambda genome, which resulted in a CI victory or matter creation. That is a time before the weak nuclear bosons became massive and lost their infinite range, which was 10 to the negative 10 power. Seconds. Sorry. One indication of this movement backwards in time is chapter 175 in BD or Book of the Dead, rather, where we learn that Atum will destroy all he has made, and that the earth shall return to the primordial water, to the surging flood, as in its original. The surging flood can be compared to the primordial sea of seething protons, glutons, and other elementary particles. However, the surging flood in its original state suggests a time frame of the Planck or inflation era, or sometime between 10 to the negative 43 or 10 to the negative 12 seconds before the Big Bang. Like Atum, who is self-created, theory claims the universe is self-creating. It grew out of its own, rather, it grew out of an interminate sea of potentiality or quantum vacuum. This cosmic singularity or origin was the point of infinite density and infinite temperature. We could say this cosmic singularity was the center of a great expanding well of space that can be compared to the sky goddess Nut, whose name is Great Well. The text also informs us that yesterday belongs to Ani, and this comes from Book of the Dead 17. And Ani creates the primordial water. Along with this, the deceased is yesterday, one who views 1,000,000 years, and he reminds us yesterday, which is pregnant with the one who shall give birth to himself at another time, belongs to me. This locates the deceased somewhere in the time before Atum's human creation. Yet, according to the text, the deceased seems to have a grip on all time before the human creation. 10 to the negative 43 seconds to 1,000,000,000 years after the Big Bang. The hymn to the sun claims that Ra shines forth from the primordial water, Horus is kindly, and Ani is vindicated. In addition, the deceased states that when the two lands are united, he passes into the midst of the Milky Way and does not die again. Tibetan Recension 176. Recently, a NASA and University of Illinois team of scientists discovered the presence of a sugar molecule which is called glycolide in a large cloud of gas near the center of our galaxy. The sugar formed a carbon Oxygen and hydrogen, a chemical precursor to life, can combine with other molecules to form sugars. Recall that the chemical composition of lactose is carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen, elements necessary not only for life, but also for the energy metabolism of the recombinant hard species, that is, the deceased passing into the Milky Way, the way of the lactose. Even the Egyptian story about the Bennu bird lends credence to the idea that the deceased has gone back to the early universe, possibly to a time before the Big Bang.